is non-human intelligence gathered to help humans make better decisions. So think of automating anything that would be extremely annoying or tedious for human beings to gather, and then automatically having it at your fingertips to be able to make more effective decisions. And oftentimes, when we think about AI at AWS, we pair it with something called machine learning or ML. So oftentimes you'll see in the industry AI/ML, they go together. Because AI on its own is raw data. And what you do with that data is up to you. So machine learning can sit on top of AI to help a model learn from itself and become more effective over time. So I'll give you an example. Something very difficult for most humans to do is to learn how to play golf well. I certainly don't. So if you're going to learn how to play golf well, you might gather data. You might measure how effective your swings are based on where the ball goes. And it might take a very long time and be very tedious over time to get better just using that method. Now what AWS does, and especially with our solution SageMaker, is we layer on a machine learning concept over that. So if you were learning to play golf, you now have a way to measure what kind of swings were most effective. And then that system would learn on itself, like compounding interest. So every time you learn an effective swing, that goes into the model, and then the model becomes more effective and learns from itself over time. Did I define what AI is and how it works?
To a degree, sure.
Okay. Let's go
everyone can Google and take a little computer science course if they like. But what are some really interesting use cases? I mean, obviously there's lots of these tedious, painstaking, long kind of processes in the restaurant space. What are some of those that you're excited about seeing flowing through AWS?
One of the most interesting use cases right now comes from something called the fry attachment rate, which I'm not sure if you all have heard of. So Americans are eating and consuming fries after and during the pandemic at an astounding rate, more than they ever have. And so what that means is that restaurants need to be churning out fries at an unforeseen rate. So an interesting use case we're seeing is AI pinpoint cameras that monitor fry trays and can tell restaurant operators exactly when those trays need to be switched out to meet the growing level of demand. So that's how granular AI can actually get.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. No more soggy fries. We can go back to restaurants and get a nice crispy fry, right? And yeah, Jim, tell us a little about the results you're seeing with AI. I mean, what are some of the things that really make you say, I need to roll this out to all my restaurants?
As Dan mentioned, the degree of accuracy, for example, in drive-thrus, I mean, they're seeing close to 100%. We're excited to test it and get those same results. So, anytime that the AI, and as Deborah said, it continues to learn on itself. So, if you have a very high degree of accuracy, it continues to improve. And there's just, there's a lot of AI that's out there that's solving for a variety of things, from food cost to labor cost, and even automation back in the house that reduces footprints and has other benefits to it. But I think for us, seeing some of these deployments and seeing the successes, the early successes in them, we're, like I said, at the early stage. There's a lot of predictive analytics. So for any restaurant operators out there, how great would it be if somebody provided something that said, every hour of the day, this is not only the volume we're going to do, but here's the product mix that it's going to be generated to a high degree of accuracy based on historical data, just makes your life a lot easier.
Yeah, it makes all of your employees' lives a lot easier as well.